Hey, what's going on, y'all? How's everything going? Well, right now, we have a little things going on, and it's solo. It's just me for right now. So that's the cool thing. It's now the Joe show. We're not even going to talk about anybody else right now. It's all about me, and that's how it should always be. So just in case y'all didn't know that. So I just woke up from nap time, so you can see I'm a little tired here. So please pardon my appearance. You know how I am about my naps. I like to get my naps in and make sure that I get plenty of rest because naps are important. They're not just for kindergartners anymore; they're for us grown folks too. So, but yeah, we got. I don't know where the rest of my team is, so I get to play solo for a little bit, and we're gonna see what's going on. It's amazing when one third of us show up. So we'll just kind of go from there. Let's see. Let's start about my day. So my day, we got snowed in again. So we weren't able to go to work. We're obviously trying to keep uh, the power grid down and making sure. So I made sure that the guys could stay home and all that fun stuff. But yeah, let's go through the comments here. Hey, Carrie Patton Jackson. Tim, I've conquered all. So yeah, that's what it's going. And Momager, hey Joe. CPJ, let's talk about how amazing the outdoor lighting has been between 2 and 3 each afternoon these past few days. Pictures, I know, right? It's so awesome because being a photographer, one thing that if you're looking for great lighting for your portrait photography, going out during the snow is just it's awesome. And if it happens to be snowing, that's even better. So I'll tell you, whenever you're doing your shots in the snow acts like a huge reflector. So the light is bouncing down and bouncing up. So usually people in snow, they take really good pictures. They really like the lighting in the good pictures. So that's one way. Now the second tip to that is if it's snowing and you want to actually get the snow falling on the background and stuff, you have to find kind of a darker background, and that way you can get the snow. Otherwise, you're just going to have a white picture. So it's really important for you to do whenever you get your camera going to take a look at those the backgrounds, and if you want snow and it's snowing, then find a dark background and kind of go from there. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. It's the Joe Show. So I've never thought about doing it, but I have done a couple things by myself, but not necessarily um, the show like this. Most of the time, I'm like teaching people how to do photography and stuff like that. So, hey, Chon, yeah, I just woke up from a nap. It was good. I thought I was doing good. I got on here like 2 or 3 minutes before showtime, and all of a sudden I'm by myself. So it'll be good. Sylvia, hey Sylvia, how are you? Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for the Joe Show. I need to make sure that you know what let me do this. I'm gonna rename this right here. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna show you all what I'm gonna do right here. I'm gonna change this to the Joe Show. There we go. How you like that? Look at that right there. Oh, right here. Right there. The Joe Show. This is how we're going to do it. That's how it's going to work. But yeah. Oh, for all of my Lubbock people and those that are in the Fort Worth, what's it called? What are we in? Oh, Wolfforth area. We actually ate a new restaurant today called Elotes. And if you have ever eaten elotes, basically is corn. And so you have the corn, and they put the mayonnaise on it and the seasoning. Oh, it was so good. But of course, I had to get they have street tacos there, and I had the carnitas, which is pork. And so the tacos were just so fat. They were really good. They were so good they put me to sleep. So as soon as we got home, I took a nap. So that's how awesome they were. So I really recommend Elote's restaurant. They're in Wolfforth off of Preston Drive, if you know where that's at. So, and let's go through some more comments here. Chon, nice. Yes, thank you. CPJ, Joe, do you like ice cream during cold weather? I love ice cream all the time. So it doesn't matter for me. I love ice cream all the time. So I'm good with it cold, hot. I just love ice cream. So, yeah. Yep, Kaylee, I am solo today. I didn't know I was going to be solo today, but hey, we're just rolling with the punches. We're just rolling with the punches. Yes, and they've only been open for about 2 weeks. We talked to one of the employees there, and I asked him, I was like, "How long have you guys been open?" He's like, "As of today, 2 weeks." So I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, they were really good. Their tacos. I was a little concerned because their tacos were like $4. When I'm used to paying down the street, we would go to this other restaurant for street tacos, and I pay $1.59. So I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know, but they are packed in there. They're like super fat tacos. There's packed all the meat in there, and it's like lots of meat. So it was definitely real good. Of course, this is like when they first opened, so just making sure that you get it in there and stuff. So, heard elotes was good. Yes, Kaylee was excellent. My wife was the one that was told, and Sandy said she has eaten there. So we really tried it. My son had a quesadilla, and my oldest wasn't with us. My middle daughter, she didn't say she was hungry, so she just had the ochata. So yeah, sounds amazing. It's really good. I highly recommend it. They're just starting out, so let's if you are in the Lubbock area, let's go ahead and try to take care of those people and get them some business. So yeah, let's see here. Chon, yeah, no, they have shrimp, but y'all know I'm allergic to shrimp, and I blow up like Hitch, and so I can't have that stuff. So it's not good. I can't have shrimp, and it feels. Let me tell y'all this: if you ever have a food allergy, it is the worst feeling in the world to have a food allergy. Because mine's not so bad where it like I would die or something like that, but I'm like eating shrimp, and then all of a sudden everything starts itching, and then my ears feel like they're like jumbo sized ears. They feel like huge ginormous ears, and they just feel like they're so itchy. And then the worst feeling is that what I want to do is I just want to stick my hand down my throat and just scratch my throat, because it is a terrible feeling to be allergic to food. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. So if you can, try to avoid being allergic to food. So I know you can't do that. That was probably the worst joke. I'm laughing at my own jokes, y'all, because I'm here solo, because it's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show right here. That's what we're going at. And yeah, winging it. That's how I do. I don't even, nobody's telling me anything. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here. Hold up. Wait, I'm going to give a few more minutes, because it's still my show, y'all. It's still my show. It's still.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Y'all don't even know what I just went through. Oh my gosh.
Sandy, tell me.
Okay, I was on here talking to Dontaye, and then guys, 6 gunshots just went off. I mean, just like back to back. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, I like threw myself on the floor. I'm sure Dante's like, what is going on? Oh my gosh. So anyway, I called the police, and it's 2 minutes, but anyway, whatever. They just drove by, and I'm still freaking out a little bit. Eric's like, I said, do you think I'll be okay to hop on the show? He's like, just stare from the window. I'm like, hello, window. Window is right here. But anyway, I'm okay. I'm just freaking out. I've heard gunshots before. I mean, I took my CHL and all that good stuff, but man, just totally caught me off guard. So, okay, Joe, I'm so sorry I bailed on you, but I'm back.
No, you are good. I'm glad everything was good. Did they say anything?
Well, when I was calling in, because I didn't call the emergency, I'm just always so weird about calling 911. I'm like, is that an emergency? I didn't hear anybody screaming.
Yeah, 6 gunshots. Yeah,
6 gunshots. I mean, so I just called their regular dispatch line to report it, and so she's like, telling somebody else, we just got another phone call. Someone else also heard the gunfire and stuff, and so anyway, it's like, okay, I'm not just me going crazy, but Cade heard it, and he was on the opposite end of the house, and so anyway, we're all a little bit freaked out right now.
Okay,
so,
well, good.
So if y'all see me like ducking covers, because we heard him again.
Right. Awesome. Well, we're at that mark now where I usually ask Jamie who we have on the show, but Sandy, you want to ask me?
Hey, Joe Baker, who do we have on the show?
Hey, Sandy. Well, so we were supposed to do a little bit of homework, but y'all know that I'm 2%, and Sandy refuses to do homework. So,
I mean, I'm procrastinating.
So we have no idea, other than we have a guy named Dontaye coming on, and that he's in PR. But we're going to let him go and explain a little bit more to us, because I just barely met him like 30 seconds before the show.
Right?
Sandy, you got to talk to him for a little bit?
I did get to talk to him for a little bit, but he was kind of having some stuff going on, and of course, I was having stuff going on.
Oh wow! So it's, just on par for the show then, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, without further ado, everyone, please welcome Dontaye Carter to the show.
Hey, Dontaye!
Yay, Dontaye, you made it!
It's so crazy. I felt like I was hearing gunshots, but I wasn't. I was totally like just having the weirdest last few hours. I was telling Sandy I woke up super early. I started working super early this morning, and then I started, it's like 8, 9 o'clock, and I'm getting all these calls about things that need to get done with some of the other groups that I'm working with, and I put the wrong day on an email once, right? I went back and corrected the day, but I didn't correct the date. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm just like, man, like it's just bananas. But I fixed it. I handled the business.
Nice. That's all that matters. It's like, we handle it. Yeah.
I was distracted because I heard about gunshots, and I was just like, man, and you're still next to the window. You're still next to the window.
I know. So my husband said, he's like, stay away from the window, and I'm like,
you're like,
window right here.
My desk is right here, by the way.
I got a window too, right there.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
right there.
Yeah, mine's right here. So Dontaye,
yes,
before you tell us why you're on the show, just give us a little general about you. What's you? What are you? Who are you?
Man,
who are you?
Yeah.
Who is Dontaye? So gosh, man, I guess it really depends on who you're talking to, right?
Who you ask?
Right.
We were asking your mom, what would she say?
Since I'm able to speak for myself today, Dontaye is this amazing guy. He just loves everybody. He's so caring.
Nice.
He's just he's just such a lovable human being. That's Dontaye. My mother, on the other hand, it's like slap upside the back of the head. This is this kid that I had to stay on top of all the time. I barely got him out of high school. I barely got him out of college, but he's finally there. My wife is like, I need you to make sure that your daughter's taken care of.
Right.
So how many kids do you have? Is that
just one.
Just one.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I'm one and done. Yeah, I am done.
You just
one of my
friends.
One of my friends described it. She said, "Your daughter is like 3 personalities in one."
Oh,
and I was like, "Yeah, her daddy's a Gemini, so he's got 2 sides, and then her mother's got a great personality. So yeah, that 3, that sounds about right."
Right. Bingo. Yeah, I told my husband, I was like, ooh, we already messed up 2 humans. Let's not bring in a 3rd one in.
And I was like, hey, you know what? 3 is a nice round number.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with
really?
3. Yeah.
I think I'm one and done.
Nice.
Yeah, I am one and done. I'm going to pour all the love that I can into this one child, and then I'm just going to bring some friends around her.
Yes.
Okay.
Let the friends come over.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
How old is she now?
She just turned 3 yesterday. So,
oh my God.
Yes.
A three-nager. Oh my goodness. She knows
she
everything.
is like, no. And in the midst of me making the errors that I was telling y'all about, she was hollering because she didn't want to take a bath tonight. She said, she said, no bath tonight. I don't want to. And, I didn't make the mistake, but I educated her early on about private parts and not touching those. And so, we're still in this potty train phase. And so she's like, no, daddy, this is my vulva. You don't touch. And I'm just, you don't touch my vulva, daddy. My vulva. My vulva. And I'm like, man. She's like, no.
You're like, that's really good right now.
That's good.
But we need to wash it.
We got to wash it. We got to get you out of this pull up. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Right.
You going to wipe yourself? I mean, just let me know.
It still needs to be washed. Okay? Still needs to be washed.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So Dontaye, why do we have you on the show? What is it that you do that we want to bring a highlight to?
Mr. Pineapple reached out, asked me to come. I'm still trying to figure out why we call him Mr. Pineapple, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to that later.
You tell us and then we'll tell you.
Right, yeah. What's your best guess?
Oh man. But yeah, so we've me and my team, we've been a part of many of the, well, I mean, large part of the election that we just had here in Georgia. So
Mhm.
many people really invigorating and encouraging. And so we played a pretty decent role. I'm trying to, it's one of those ones where you're the whole humility and wanting to brag
Yeah.
at the same time. I
And
don't do
then
too well with
toot,
that. Yeah.
toot.
Here's a name. Here's a
But
name.
yeah,
Perfect.
so we're part of that. I worked 3 campaigns here in Georgia, which was really good. One of them with the judge. She took on an incumbent. We flipped that seat from the first time, and gosh, since the Olympics here in Atlanta back in '96. So
Right.
that was a pretty big feat. My team and I, we were also involved in the Surviving R. Kelly
Oh.
whole ordeal. We represented the families, and so we do a lot of social activism work. We work with a lot of attorneys. We work with politicians, and we're just continuing to do the work to make an impact. I'm very community focused, and I try to do my best to be in those places where I can be of use. I don't. I'm not here to impress. I'm here to impact, and that's what I really try to focus
Awesome.
on.
That's
That
an
is
awesome
awesome.
statement. I'm here to impact.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like it. And how'd you get started? Where did you get your start from?
So I started in television news actually.
Mhm.
I was in school. I was in my sophomore year at FAMU HBCU, and I got an opportunity to come in and edit videos at the local news station there. And so I get up 4 in the morning, and I'd come into work, or I'd leave the club and I go straight to work.
Oh, we
So
don't know anything
We-
about that. We don't know
We
anything about
might
that.
know a thing or two.
So that of course was before I started what I call my born again phase, and I entered church and everything. And so but yeah, I started doing that, and I was editing videos for the news station for 6 months, and was promoted to producer. So here I am, junior in college, coming into work at 11:30 p.m., getting off at 8:30 a.m., and going straight to school. And
No, oh my
yes,
gosh.
it was crazy, and yeah, and so it
So
was.
how
I
many
had a
times did you fall asleep in class? For real.
Right.
Oh man, I actually had a professor that told me you need to quit. It was like you need to
Quit
quit your
napping
job.
quit your job.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to quit your job. Like, because there was a period where my grades really suffered, and but it was difficult for me because I came from a single parent working class household, and so I was gonna have to get a job regardless. It's not like there were all these funds and resources coming in from back home, so I was gonna have to do something. Why not go ahead and get that experience? And so that was one of the things that for me that I just really focused on, and I was dragging when I got out of school, but I got out. I ended up graduating from school with close to 3 years of experience.
Mhm.
I worked for a year and a half after that. I ended. By the time I graduated, I was an executive producer over a morning show,
Wow.
which it was a smaller market, but it was great experience.
Mhm.
And I worked as an EP until a year after I graduated. And then I went ahead and I started reporting, did some anchoring. I worked in Tulsa, Oklahoma, worked down in Tallahassee, Florida, worked here in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was great. It was a heck of a ride. And then I met this amazing woman, and I was just like, I can't be working these crazy hours.
Right.
I can't be working these crazy hours and trying to build a family. And so I started looking at some other alternatives. I was blessed enough to get hired on at the Fulton County DA's office. Was the youngest person to ever lead up the PR department. And I was coming in with no experience, and it was a lot that I had to learn. I made a lot of mistakes, and but I grew, and I grew tremendously. Not only was I learning about law, but I was also learning about politics and about these Just about, it was just interesting, just seeing. I was so used to either reporting on politics or not being really actively involved, and so it just really just changed the way I saw everything, just being inside and seeing how things work from the inside. And so I think I was there for about a year and a half, and there was this case that kind of, I think it was when I decided I wanted to be a part of the impact and being that change agent. Was, there were four black teens that were on trial for murder, and the victim's mother took the stand, and she said, my son came to me in my dreams and said that you got the wrong individuals.
Oh my
And
Oh wow.
it wasn't until that one moment where things kind of stopped, and people really started to ask questions. And just remember being in office with the DA as he was talking to the prosecutor, and he was like, did these kids have cell phones on them? And she was like, yes. And he was like, well, did you check the towers to see where they pinged off? And when they went back and looked, those kids weren't in the area, and so
Oh my
it
gosh.
was a lot, and so I think that just took a lot out of me. Just seeing that, this is a system that primarily impacts black and brown people overwhelmingly.
Right.
And so the fact that there was not really a safeguard there for them,
Right.
just really took a toll on me. And so, I just started thinking of what I could do to make that impact. And I started thinking about opening up my own PR firm, started thinking about working with attorneys, and again, just being part of that change. And so that's kind of what led me here.
Wow.
So I'm going back to, because I had some questions and I didn't want to interrupt you. Usually I interrupt people. Okay. So my first question, what did you get your degree in? And I don't know if you said that.
Oh yeah, I was studying journalism.
Journalism. Okay.
Yeah.
And second question, can we find you as on any blooper reels when you were doing your reporting?
I haven't found any. But
Okay.
I did make my. I mean, it's live TV. You're gonna make your share of
Yes.
mistakes,
Yeah.
And so I used to always get calls from folks, and they were just like. I remember when I first started off reporting, I was at a protest and I said a line like, "These signs speak for themselves." And none of my friends will let me live that down. They're like, "Yo, I didn't know signs could speak, man. I didn't know they could speak, bro." And they'd call me and they'd say, "Dante, these signs speak for themselves."
Oh,
And I'm just
no.
like, are y'all really doing this to me right now? Are you really doing this?
Yeah.
These signs speak. And I mean, even to this day, I had a friend of mine, he called me and he was like, "You know what I was thinking about the other day?" And I was like, "What were you thinking?" He was like, "These signs speak for them." And I'm like, bro, 15 years, bro. There's a cutoff, man.
He's like,
There's a
let me show you how I rub that in there for you.
Right.
Just a little bit more. Just in case you forgot about it. Just
Yeah,
in case
I
you
mean,
forgot about it.
15 years is too long. It's too long, man.
Right.
Let it go. Let
So
it go.
Dante, we're going back to your journalism days because I saw a couple things in there and I was like, so what exactly does an executive producer do? Because I hear that thing slapped around all the time, and then people like in movies, oh, so and so is an executive producer, but they just said it's just a
And
title.
And so
Yeah.
Jamie Pineapples, he's our producer. So just give us what they do. That way we can let him know what he needs to be doing.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
Well, I don't know what he does, and I don't know what some of the other people do, but I know I got yelled at a lot when stuff went wrong.
Writing that down.
If
Okay,
that
so-
comma was
so-
missing, I got yelled at. If there was
Okay,
a period missing, I got yelled at.
Perfect.
No, but we pretty much manage the newscast. Of course, we're putting stories in, deciding what's going to be the lead story, what stories do we want to tease to talk about before commercial break, writing stories, making sure that whoever's coming in to be interviewed is set up and good to go. So I mean, a producer wears many hats because I mean they're kind of that last line of defense. And so
Yeah.
when something goes wrong, I mean
Yeah.
it's them. There were many a times where I was sleep deprived and I was sitting in here because there was something I should have caught and I didn't catch it. And
Right.
I feel like it's always those moments when I need to shut it down and go to sleep when
I hear you.
I get hit the hardest.
Yeah, like they're supposed to let us know that, I'm going to be the only person on air.
Right.
Or something like that, or that they may not even be able to make it on.
I
Those types
know.
of things. So they're in charge of all that, right? So There's you the man. That's the man of the
Well,
hour.
well, in Sandy's defense, she was she was it
I
was
was
like a
scared
drug
for
deal.
my life.
Was it a drug deal gone bad? Was it a drug?
I would love to know. You know what? I'm gonna go put my journalistic sweater on. I'm gonna go over there and see if these signs are speaking for themselves. As of right
Nice, nice.
Oh man! Oh, she hit me in the gut with that one. Oh,
That is awesome.
Dante.
you-
Well,
can you
I
grab
love
it?
it.
Can
You're
you grab
right.
that knife that you just put in my back. Can you pull it out? Can you
It
pull
was
it
a
out?
butter knife.
It was a butter knife. It still cuts though.
It
Right.
still cuts. It still cuts.
Well, it's kind of dull.
All right. So Dante, that was all in Oklahoma, if did I understand that right?
It was Tallahassee, Florida,
Tallahassee,
Valdosta,
Florida.
Georgia, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Atlanta, Georgia. So I was trying to stay in the Southeast. I'm from the Southeast. I was trying to stay in the Southeast. Tulsa, Oklahoma was a very different experience. I'm grateful for the experience, but it was different.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like you've worked in every town of a good country.
Good country.
I felt like it. I definitely felt like it.
Nice. So we got some more comments here. Let's see.
Yeah, let me
Sandy,
try
go
to
through
catch
them.
up just a second.
We got-
So let's see here. So Jamie is in the comments. He's not with us right now. He's producing from the
Man of
comments. He
Mystery.
says International Man of Mystery. Someone said happy birthday here. Did I miss something?
I guess
Oh,
so.
Kylie just turned 3. My daughter.
Oh,
So yesterday was
that's
her
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
all so much.
Sean. Way to pay attention, Sean.
Sean, I appreciate that
Yeah,
because
because
we're
it
like,
just
who
flew right over me and Sandy.
And then Jamie said 2 cons. And then Carrie said, if my daughter said that, I would be like, who got you that car? Bobo. And Jamie said, whoop, whoop, Georgia. And he says, this man is my hero.
Oh,
And
man, I
here's
appreciate
our
that.
producer who can't get connected. Why, oh, why?
Right, exactly.
And then we have a comment. I saw the sign and it said a lot.
Y'all not gonna let that go, huh?
No, we're going to be like your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, real friends tease you though. That's what I come to
Real
realize.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real friends tease you.
Yeah.
If
They
y'all don't
remind
tease
you.
me,
Yeah.
if y'all don't tease me, I'm just like, man.
I've always said that if I'm not joking with you, it's probably because I don't like you.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, seriously, it's like
Mhm.
it's there's a level of comfort that takes place,
Yes,
right?
I agree.
It's a level of comfort, and it's like if you don't have that level of comfort, it's like it's kind of
Yeah.
you're like stiff, and it's like, man, I need
Yeah.
somebody to break the ice. So,
Right.
the gunshots did it for me.
Right. me throwing myself on the ground, I think we became comfortable.
And it was such a great icebreaker because, like I said, I was right in the midst of like, dang, not only did I do it once, but I made a boo-boo twice on the same email that I sent out, and so it was like I was getting ready to beat myself down, and it was like pop, 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 pop. And I was like, amen.
Oh, I know. It's
Oh,
awful.
my
But
goodness.
anyway, okay, so now we moved on to PR.
Okay.
And so let's get back because we can go off on tangents.
Yeah, we're
Let's
good
not,
at,
Dante.
like,
We
yeah.
want to take advantage of your time. Okay, so now you're in PR and you were motivated by a trial or something
Yeah.
that was these 4 boys. Okay, so tell us some more on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's so funny because we see the documentary When They See Us. We've seen all these other stories of injustice. We saw George Floyd. All this stuff is kind of front and center. But that was the first time that I can say not only did I see it, but I was a part of it in a sense. Like I had a role in that. Like I was employed by that office, and I think that was one of the hardest things for me. And I think to this day it's helped me to kind of be a little more careful with how I respond to things, but also helped me to understand that there's got to be safeguards. There's got to be a level of accountability. There's got to be people in place that ensure that accountability is there. And I think I I remember, just one of the Koch brothers when they passed a few years ago, and on Fox News, I was looking at Fox News, they called him a billionaire and an activist, and I was just looking, and I was just like, how in the world is this dude a billionaire and an activist? That's like an oxymoron, right? That doesn't seem like things that go together.
Right,
But
right.
in hearing the story, it dawned on me. I was like, he wasn't, the activist in the way that I was looking. He was an activist for his community, which is a very select group of folks here in the U.S. Because
Yeah,
Right.
the top
he's a
0.5%.
yeah.
Not for us. Not for us.
Yeah.
Not for me now.
But so it was just like I was like, okay, so I can be this activist, and I can also be this business owner, and I can merge these hats together so that I can make an impact in my community. And so that's something that that I focused on. I just think that God has given me so many different life experiences to where it's been amazing. I grew up in a place in East Orlando, which is predominantly Hispanic, and so I was able to really see the struggles and the culture there. You know what I'm saying? All these things that took place, and then it's like, then I moved somewhere like South Georgia, where you've got this very large poor population of Black people,
Mhm.
which I hadn't grown up entirely around. And so
Mhm.
it helped me to really see that, man, there's a shared struggle here that is often missed when you're chasing that next promotion and that next dollar. It's like, man, when you sit back and you look at these cities that are gentrifying, it's like, yeah, there's homes that are becoming selling for millions of dollars, but there's also this massive population of homeless people that are
Right.
also there because they're being pushed out. And so it's just a lot, and really helping me to see that bigger picture, and that's one of the things that I've always appreciated.
So part
So,
of your PR,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead.
So part of your PR is promoting.
So yeah, so I work with attorneys. So I mean, I was part of the team that was on the Ahmaud Arbery case.
Okay.
So we've handled a lot of officer involved shooting cases. We handled, like I said, the Ahmaud Arbery case. I mean,
So,
the R. Kelly. So it's very wide, but it's more
mhm.
focused on law and politics.
So what do
Okay.
you mean when you say you handled that? How do you handle that? What does that particularly mean is involved on the PR side of things? Do you write the scripts for people, or how they get interviewed, or how do you make that happen?
Yeah, well, I don't tell them what to say, but we do work out what these talking points look like, right? We
Okay.
we do sit back and say, okay, what do these talking points look like? I'm working with the media to secure media attention. We're setting up
Okay.
interviews, ensuring that, again, that the victims' voices are heard. And what I noticed is, a lot of times when incidents occur, the media leans on who the authority is, and typically the authority at the scene of an emergency or a crime is going to be the police department. And
Right.
so that's a narrative that they tend to run with. But you've also got to have to balance it out. You also have to show what that other side is. And so that's what I really work to do, is just make sure that each story carries a level of context to where people understand that there are two sides here. There's not
Mhm.
just oh, this person is bad or this and that, and they were shot. It's no, like, there's also a level of injustice here, and this is on our court system, which was created to step in and ensure that justice is found. And so ultimately, until that court case goes before a judge, there's got to be some sense of balance. And so that's what we really work to do.
Okay. Wow. So it sounds like you stay pretty busy then.
I
Because
do.
there's always something going on.
I
There's
do.
always something that needs to be, what's the word? PR'd.
Right. That needs to be said. That needs to make sure
Yeah.
that that say, hey, we got this side of the story, but what about this side over here? and give them more of a rounded view of the situation as opposed to what is just fed to us
Yeah.
from a particular news station or whatever.
And I think one of the things that helped me to really understand the importance of it, and I always give her credit for this, is my wife, because I remember when the attorney that had the R. Kelly case, when he first approached me about it, and I remembered sitting there because R. Kelly hadn't been charged at the time. None of these things had happened. And I remembered I'm looking through the file, I'm looking through all these things, and I just kind of, just in that afternoon conversation with my wife, I'm just like, man, I don't know how to charge for this thing. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And it's just a lot here. And I just remembered how silent she was and how quiet she was. And I just kind of looked over and I'm like, babe, you good? You good? Like, why are you so quiet?
Like,
Like,
I'm pouring out my heart here.
yeah, like I'm having a rough day at work, and I just remember she turned and looked at me and she said, at some point, you know, as women, we need our husbands, we need our brothers, we need our cousins, our uncles to act as though they know there's a problem. Like this is a blatant issue.
Right.
This isn't something that it's maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. Like, no, this is a big issue. And the fact that you've got a little girl that's going to be coming up in this world and facing this same type of injustice, and this is your approach to it. Like, I don't care how much you charge for the case. Like, I care about what's going to be put in place to protect those younger women that are coming up. And it just really impacted me because it really forced me to look at that story with a much different perspective. It forced me to step outside of myself. And I ended up winning 3 international awards off the work that we did with that case.
Oh, wow.
And I remember one of the folks was just like, man, you just gave your wife so much credit. And I was just like, I'm not saying I didn't do a good job, but I could not have done that good job without her. Like, she forced me to really step outside of my male privilege.
Right.
And I don't know if I could have admitted prior to all this stuff happening that I had a sense of male privilege, right? Because I look at myself as a Black man and the obstacles in my way, and I overlook the fact that I still have a sense of male privilege.
Right.
And it forced me to relook at this, because we've got laws on the books that, we have laws on the books that define rape, sex assault, all these things that were written by men. It's like crimes that impact women mostly, but they're written by men without the voice of a woman. And it's like, how in the world does this happen? Like,
yeah, it makes me wonder, like, how many wives did they talk about this to? Did anybody think about their children? Anybody, because basically your wife, let you borrow her eyes as she sees things. And so, yeah, that's awesome. Because too, when I am telling my husband my issues, I don't listen to what he's responding. I'm just vomiting. So that's great that she, that's great that she,
So your wife was basically like, you're really concerned about how much you're going to charge?
Yeah. And I'm just like, man,
and then she's like, you might want to look at this again.
Yeah, like, and if this is the mindset you're gonna have, don't talk to me about it.
Right.
And, it's like, and like I said, it's not that I didn't like. Yes, I know. I knew there were issues. I knew sex trafficking and all that, because that's what this case was. It's a sex trafficking case, and I knew these things existed. But I guess it's like it's easy for me to think about sex trafficking as the Taken movie, somebody coming in and
like somewhere else, and
then it just being more, like, of course this was violent, but just there's so much manipulation that goes on in these cases. It's psychological,
so much grooming stuff. I know it.
Yeah So
that's crazy. And does so I know that you're like always busy and always like taking this in. Is it hard for you to kind of sometimes leave that at the door and not bring it into your household and then not affect you like personally or, and your family, and you're just like, man, that type of deal? What do you do to kind of get past that?
And so I started seeing a therapist.
Okay.
You know, I had to. I was just like, man,
It's a
this,
lot.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's heavy. And you know, I remembered I sat down with a therapist, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, you know, trauma exists in the absence of justice. And so as long as there's injustice that isn't dealt with, this trauma is going to take place and continue to be there. And so it just kind of it made me just think, like, if I'm feeling this way from just handling the case, what how do how do how do the folks feel that are fighting to survive this trauma? You know, how
Right. Right.
what are they going through? And it just helped me to see that, you know what? I've got to be I've got to be better at ensuring that I do everything I can to allow there to be a presence of
Right.
justice.
So, Dante, we are so happy that you said that because we are huge mental health advocates on our
Mhm.
show. In fact, Mr. Pineapples, who we're talking about, his wife is a therapist.
Wow,
And
I didn't
so
know that.
yeah. And so we always talk about mental health. And it's just so awesome for you to say, it's like, I didn't do it on my own. I'm using a therapist. And it's not because of a bad reason necessarily. It's to make sure that you're ready for the next time something comes along and that you're clear and that you're ready to go and not
Mentally
carrying that
prepared for
burden.
that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're only as good as our team, right?
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
and you know, maybe if I'd have leaned more on my team tonight instead of trying to do all these emails by myself, I wouldn't have made so many boo boos. But you know,
Dante, let's talk about delegating.
I am a pro at this, Dante.
Right.
you're a pro at
Me
delegate.
too.
I'm getting there though. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm
Yeah.
just
And you're probably just like me. It's a control thing because
yeah.
you're an EP, so you're always in control. And then whenever you're like trying to give that control to somebody else, you're like, no, 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 you're gonna screw it up. I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah. And then when
I
I
walk
screw it
around
up,
saying
it's like, oh,
Right,
right.
exactly.
It was autocorrect. It was that dang autocorrect.
That dang
that's what I'm gonna
autocorrect.
say. That's what I'm gonna say. Man, I got, you know, it's so funny because my former boss, he was like, man, if there's one thing I can give you credit for, because I was like, I would make some mistakes that I was like, man, I can't believe I did that, you know. But it's literally back to your point of me being in control and
Mhm.
carrying too much. But he would say, man, I got to give you credit, man, because you will make some mistakes. But when you do it, you will call me and tell me you did it. Like nobody else could tell me that you messed up. It
Right.
always had to come from Dante. And I was like, look, man, if, if I'm gonna drop the game winning touchdown, you
Right.
know, let me. I don't need a sports reporter telling you about how
Right.
I blinked, you know, before
Right.
while the ball was in my hands and I was juggling it. Like,
Right,
no,
yeah.
let me just say, look, I messed up and let me own it. And
Because
so,
if that other person tells on you, it's gonna be
oh
far worse.
man,
Yeah,
Far
exactly.
worse.
Yeah, I
yeah,
always tell people it's like just own up to it. If you
Mhm.
yeah,
just own up to it, you don't have to lie about it. You just put it out there, and then you fix it or you try to move on with it. You don't try to build dig a deeper hole for yourself
yeah,
by letting
Right.
somebody else come to it because it could get lost in translation. Somebody does say something, and I was like, just say you screwed up. Yeah, it
yeah.
was me.
It's
I
true.
did it.
I mean, that's what it is, though.
Some of us are still working on it. I was. I need to go to therapy for that.
Right. So,
So,
Dante,
Mom
tell us
and
about your hat.
Oh man, you know, so it's so crazy because my old business consultant was like, "Yo, you gotta have a slogan, you gotta have this, you gotta have that." And so I put it up on Facebook, and I was like, "Yo, I need help." I know it comes easy when I do this for other people, but for me, it's
right.
tough.
Right.
And so I was like, "Yo, somebody help me come up with something." And I remember one of the attorneys jumped in. He was like, "Fight harder with Carter," and I was like, "That's kind of dope. I like that."
Right there. Right.
Yeah. And he was like, or it can be harder, smarter, Carter. And I was like, nah, I like to fight. You know,
Right.
I like to step in there like I'm Mike Tyson. You know, I feel like I'm Mike Tyson sometimes, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah, but yeah, so you know, it's been part of me, part of really you know, I think just growing my own personal brand. And you know, I'm really big with supporting the underdog. So you know, when I think about fight harder with Carter, you know, that's kind of what comes to mind for me.
Nice.
Awesome.
Sorry, Sandy. Go to that comment.
Okay, so just gonna real quick. Dolores says having a therapist doesn't make you any less. In fact, it makes you a better person because you want to make sure you're prepared for any situation.
Yep.
It's true. Like there are times now that it's so crazy that I've gone to enough therapy sessions to where I'm like diagnosing myself in the middle of a heated argument with my wife. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, well, this is
This is it's like, it's like we're sitting there going back and forth, and in my head, I'm like, well, you're only mad that she talked about about you washing clothes because you were insecure about this part, and this insecurity came from there, and then this insecurity came, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, yo, I would have never. And then it's all right, babe, I'm sorry. No, you sorry. I'm not done yet.
It's like, let me put these gloves back on. You ain't getting out of this.
But it's just crazy. It really just opens up your mind. I'm like, how in the world am I in the midst of a heated argument and sitting here going through, chapter 1 of my therapy session,
right.
and so I'm just like, man,
Dontaye, do you find yourself saying you apologize and your apologies mean a lot more?
I do.
You do. I'm going to send my husband to therapy.
You're going to send him to therapy?
I think that's what he needs. Because he apologized and I don't feel like he means it.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's so funny because like with my wife, she's really big on apologies mean nothing if I don't see a change in action.
Yes.
And so it's like, before I apologize, it's like I want to be able to show some change in behavior,
Right.
Like I remember there was one time where I was supposed to be like doing the dishes, and I was just like not doing the dishes. Well, I was doing them. The problem was I wouldn't do them around. Yeah, well, I wouldn't do them when I was supposed to do them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I just get that when I get home from work. But then my wife was
supposed to. I don't understand that anyway. I'm supposed to. You just told me to do the dishes. I'm supposed to do this. That's
Joe. You trying to get me in trouble?
Right.
My wife might be watching this on Facebook, man,
like,
and she might be coming for
me.
me.
The day's not over yet. I'm supposed to get them done before the day's over, right? So until I go to bed, the day's not over, right? Just chill out. Just chill out.
Are these the same dishes that were in the sink this morning when I left for work? Babe, I thought I was going to get home before you.
Right.
But I got you.
Right.
It was like, but you didn't get home before me. Matter of fact, you got home an hour and 30 minutes after.
And where were you? Because we're supposed to be home.
The traffic in Atlanta's a beast, though. It's a beast.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah. We've been there.
You're gonna go somewhere. You gotta plan out 2 hours in advance.
Hey Dontaye, hold on just a second. We're gonna bring in somebody here.
Mr. Pineapple?
Mr. Pineapples.
Oh, it's Jay Pineapples. What?
And so this is why. Because this is what he looks like.
This is why we call him Pineapples.
Mr. Pine. What's up, Mr. Pineapples?
Sorry to catch in on the late, but I've been listening to everything, Dontaye. I wish there was a lot more I could have said, but Joe and Sandy did okay. So I'm here now. So things will be a lot better. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's change things up a bit.
I was trying to. Oh, you were doing it
there
the same time I was.
Same time. No, I'm just playing. Sandy good.
You see what he did there, Dontaye? You notice how the executive
I don't call myself executive P.
Put him way up there.
Yet.
See, that's how it is.
Yet.
And I was there solo. I was flying solo.
Yeah.
You were, but sounds like Sandy and I had some pretty good reasons. But I don't want to talk about that right now because we're almost to the end. I want to keep the spotlight on you, actually, man.
Right,
so
go ahead.
You've had a lot going on, Dontaye. And
So Carrie said, I just want to read this. Your slogan sounds very presidential.
Oh, thank you so much.
And then your wife said, No, you sorry. Awesome. So yeah, we were talking about what were we talking about? Because before we got distracted.
The dishes.
The dishes, yes.
And delegating, actually. You were gonna give him some tips on that too.
Yeah. You just gotta say.
Well, but his wife is watching. We don't want to get him in trouble. We'll text him later.
Yeah, because I love delegating to my daughter. I mean,
yeah,
she gets the job done.
She
right?
just turned 3,
yeah.
And I mean the way I see it, it's like, let's wash some dishes. Let's vacuum. Oh,
Right.
did they say that they need
Yeah.
a new boss?
Yeah.
Comment said?
Right. Exactly.
Is that what it said?
That's
Oh,
what it
great,
said.
Dante.
That's what
Oh
it
my
said.
goodness, it's popped back up on the screen really weird.
Oh,
So here's a good question. When should someone call a PR professional? Great
look at
question.
Stephanie coming in with the questions.
Thank you, Stephanie. We
Wow.
appreciate that.
Listen, let me tell you something. Stephanie is amazing. She's an amazing PR pro. So she is up and she is in she's our northern neighbor up in Canada. And
Okay.
the sister is amazing. And so I'm just so grateful to have her as a friend. I have to give her a shout out. I mean, I lean on her expertise and her encouragement a lot. She is amazing. But so I honestly think that when somebody should call PR,
Mhm.
hopefully it's before a crisis.
Mm.
Hopefully it's before.
So, like, should Sandy call one now with
I
the
know.
thing
With
that
these
happened earlier?
gunshots, should I have?
Right.
Like, is she in a good spot to be with you on the show right now to kind of help orchestrate that, or not orchestrate? I don't know how you want to say it, but
Yeah, we don't say
put
spin.
put the perspective in its proper narrative.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sandy should have had a PR person 2 decades ago.
I agree with you. I think
Right.
You know
you
what?
won't find us
That is
disagreeing
so
with you.
true. I mean, I'm right there with you. I should have
Yeah,
long ago.
Yeah, but
they would have helped with those overalls.
I just
That's an
Sorry.
inside joke. Sorry, Dante.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dante.
Dante, he's ridiculous. You see why we
But
need a
no.
new boss?
No,
in my experience, I think that people typically call PR folks right once they have this amazing idea, whether it's a book or so, or whether they're in the midst of chaos, and I just think that if you're wanting to be an author, put that investment in early. Really work to build that brand, really work to build that image, because I think the more that you put out into the world, whether it's news interviews, whether it's writing blogs, I mean, to me, it's all one and the same. The better position you put yourself in terms of not just elevating your profile, but really being able to center yourself as that thought leader. And then if this chaos comes for whatever reason, I hope it doesn't. As long as you make the right choices, you'll be fine.
Right.
But it just puts you in a better position. I get a lot of politicians that come, and it's like it's right when they announce that they want me to blow up their profile and their image, and I'm like, well what have you done? What have you done?
Like, just
Like,
started
who
a
are
TikTok
you?
account.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's like, there are some folks I look at them and I'm like, I'd love to help you. I would really love to help you.
So, Dante,
but this
in
is
that
gonna be a
vein-
headache. Yeah.
This is gonna be.
Right.
So, and it kind of leads a pivot from that in a way. Like, so what are the things that you wish people who are in the position to reach out to you and your company, what are some of the things that you wish they kind of would have done like for years prior to reaching out to you? What are those hurdles that make your job a little bit more daunting for us regular folks before they get famous? Because we're already there, I understand, but
Right.
Yeah,
what
we
are
think
some
it's famous.
useful tips or useful things that you're just kind of like, yeah guys, this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think the easiest thing that people can do that they oftentimes overlook, right, is this thing right here, right? Is your phone. Like, you literally have the ability to go live. You literally have the ability to tell your own story and to build a community around you in real time. And I think so many times it's like folks will wait. They'll wait until they feel like they're about to do something. Oh, I'm about to put this book out, or I'm about to run for public office, or I want to elevate my profile for a certain position. And it's like, no, just do it. Just start and create a blend, right? Don't just have it be, this is just work stuff or this is just parenthood, but make it a blend. I think it's easier for you to grow your platform when people feel as though they can connect with you.
Mhm.
Because people connect with you before they connect with your product, services, or decide whether or not they want to vote for you, you know? And so just being able to, we're in this day and age of thought leadership, right? And so it's like, find out what your space is and stand in that light and really continue to elevate yourself and not being scared, because everybody's going to make mistakes, right? Everybody's going to make mistakes. But I think the more authentic you are and the more genuine you are, I think the bigger impact that you're able to make.
And Don, what kind of a screening process do you have? Like, so just anybody can reach out and you're like, yeah, I'll take you on, or do you go through like do background checks, credit checks? I mean,
why? Maybe I should do some credit checks, right? But no, you know, typically what I'll Google you, you know, and I'll look through social media, and I'm lifting up every rock. I'll you know, if we know people, because typically that's how I get business is people that know me. They're like, you need to go see Dontaye. And when they say go see Dontaye, I'm like, well, what can you tell me about this person? You know, one of the things, you know, and I say this to one of the attorneys I work with a lot. I said, man, you know, make sure you go home every night. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, well, you're fighting for justice. You're fighting for people. You know, don't let them catch you with a side chick, you know, like make sure you go going home.
Without saying though, right?
Yeah.
That should go without saying, but I hear you.
No, obviously it does not go without saying, because
no, that's what I'm saying. It should be, but I get it.
Yeah. You
like,
know, well,
like,
you know,
oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just,
that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, cause you know, we're in such a visible age, right? Like it's hard to hide now. Like if you've got a kid out of wedlock, or if you've done some stuff you're not supposed to be doing, you know, it's everything. I feel like there's a timer on everything to where it's gonna come out. And so I think the biggest thing that people can do is just really focus in on really walking that fine line, especially when like if you decide, so many people are stepping out and saying, I want to be a part of this social justice movement. Well, you know, you can't be calling out the government and police for wrongdoing and you aren't morally upright. You know, it just it just doesn't work.
Don't be
And
the
so-
devil on the pot black, huh?
You can't have 11 girlfriends? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, Joe, you can't have 11 girlfriends.
I know, that's what I worry about. I'm like, the minute I try to say something, they're going to be like, let me Google you real quick and pull all your skeletons out there. I'm like,
But you know what, Sandy, with that, I've thought about that in the past, and I'm like, I think I'm okay with that to a point. Like, you know, there's not. So I live a rule. There's a rule that I have in my life that I've lived for at least the last 15, 20 years is I'm not willing to say anything in public that I'm not willing to say to that person or people to their faces either.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like I'm willing to be a jerk. And I know sometimes I feel like I come off that way because people tell me, but it's like, no, I'm just trying to tell you what I'm
the
thinking.
J is for Jamie, not for jerk, just in case y'all were wondering.
So, Dontaye, I do want to ask, like, what is because this makes me curious. What is the how to say this right? Just
say it. Just say it, bro. Just say it.
Look, who's been your cheapest customer, and what was the least or most that you had to do for them? I'm just
my
curious.
cheapest customer.
Yeah, like who out there utilizes a PR firm, and you know, like yours, and they're like, oh, but I just need this or these.
Oh,
and
yeah. It's like, so how much for a dozen eggs? Can I just get one?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
I mean, you know, it's so funny because it's not just one person. I mean, I've had that experience, you know, with a lot more than you know than I would have thought. And
Right.
but I mean, for me, it's just about keeping it 100. Like, look, man, these are the rates. This is what I do, and you know, the price is what the price is. And
Right.
you know, I just don't like doing. I just don't like doing half butt jobs, you know.
Right.
No,
and
I'm
like,
with you. I feel you.
Yeah, it's like a little piece here, a little piece there. Hey, man, can I just do this and not that? Can I just get a TV? Well, what are you gonna do with the TV interview? Like, what are you gonna do with it? Okay, so yeah, you get on with the local news outlet or by some miracle the national news outlet. But what are you gonna do with it? Like, what are you gonna do with that? That one interview, what are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna put it on my
get what you're
YouTube channel.
saying. I get what you're saying.
And
So
then I'm
how-
gonna share that with my friends,
Right.
and they're gonna share it too.
Yeah.
That-
So and I'll be honest. This is more of just because more curiosity on this part. Like, I can tell you how much photographers charge for their photo shoots arranged because I know a couple. I can tell you how much rates are for insurance between this and that. I can, all these things. I don't even know how to gauge going rates for PR firms. Like, how
it's
is
hourly,
that
isn't it? I believe
gauged?
Is it hourly and then
Yeah,
plus?
I mean, I think it can vary, and I think it kind of comes down to what the scope of the work is. A lot of times we'll get people who they want to get on CNN and these other places, but I mean, people just don't realize how much even like the network news folks are looking at your social media platforms. It's like if you only got 100 followers, it's going to be that much harder to sell you to them, and so it's really factoring in also how much work am I going to have to do to get this person to that end result that they're desiring. Like how much work is that going to take?
Right.
And so just really helping them to understand that, because it might be easy to say, well, Dante, how come we can't just do X? How come you just can't get me on TV? Like you should be able to. You're in PR, just get me on TV.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, you're also competing with Coca-Cola that has $1 million advertising budget. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things you're competing. You got all these NBA players and NFL players, and they're on all these different products. And it's like, and you're not attached to anything. And so you've got to attach them to something to really help them to build their platform so that you can put them in position to be able to leverage those opportunities. Because that's what they are. They're tools of leverage. And so, for me, it's like if I go on CNN, which I've done in the past, if I go on any platform, I want people to understand that, man, Dante's in PR, he's a business owner, and this is what he offers. And being clear about, I want to cater my ideal clients to of being attorneys and folks that want to run for public office, and that's what I really try to focus in on. And that's why I was asking the question of, I get you on TV, what are you going to do with it? Like for me, if I get on TV, I'm hoping I'm getting some business out of it. That's the end goal that I'm desiring.
When you first decided to open your own firm, your own media firm, did you go from like 0 to 1,000 in like a week kind of thing? Was it like I knew I would be busy, but I didn't realize I was going to be this busy. I didn't realize I was going to be doing this much work and successfully, even not on the sense where it's like not kind of like what you're saying with the video, right? Like after you open the business, where are you going with that? Did you find like it actually was on where you wanted and even more?
I think early on it was difficult because I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the confidence to actually do it. In this space that I'm in, I take a lot of heat day in and day out, and it was funny because I actually got a call from a PR firm in DC that called me about helping out with a case involving 45. And they were like, if we bring you in, we want you to be the face of this. And I was like, but it's your case. This is your client. Right. Why would you want me to be and they're like, because we don't like being in the fire, but you're always in the fire, Dante. They're like, you're always
I like being there.
You're like, and so when they said that, I kind of laughed. I was like, I'm always in the fire, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I'm in it, but
your cat needs a flame now. You need a flame.
That is true. But it's just, gosh, it's just interesting. I think that whenever you're doing something, you're doing that at a high level. I think anything involving law and politics is always going to be controversial. I've just accepted that, so it's so funny. I'll get DMs from folks. They'll be like, I really respected you when you did this, but when you did this, I could not stand with you. Your you're not setting a good example. And I'm like, but it was both like justice, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't understand how, it's just so weird, but controversy comes with the job. And so
Mhm.
I've gotten comfortable being, at the center of
Controversial.
controversy. Yeah.
So does that mean like a lot, kind of like Sandy asked this question earlier a little bit, but like on some of your clients or some of your projects that you've taken in, like you found yourself to bend a little bit on certain things to help your clients out? Does that make sense? Or you usually, I'm 100% on side with my clients or their
Yeah,
project?
no, I have to believe in my clients. I have to
Okay.
believe in the work that they do. If I got this moral compass in me that
Uh-huh.
if it's shady, like
Uh,
I've had some folks come to me, and it was it's just tough because it's like I want to be there and the money is amazing, and I shared this, with some of the students that I had talked to. I went back and spoke at my alma mater, and I said, look, I left a lot of money on the table last year. And I didn't do it just to leave it there. But for me, you know, I I deal with enough going to therapy. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like I don't need that Judas guilt in my head.
Yeah.
Just
I know. Yeah. You're like, no.
so I try to be very careful
You
with
don't need
it. I
more
try
butter knives.
no
Sticking
more
out your
butter
back.
knives, no more. And so I try to do a better job of just really looking at these cases, focusing on them, and making sure I'm doing my own research outside of what somebody tells me has happened. Because it's a lot.
Right.
I remember when I got a call from some of the attorneys representing the victims in the Jeffrey Epstein case, and I was like full board, but I was still burnt out from the R. Kelly case. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And it's
Uh-huh.
just a lot going back to back. And so if those cases take so much out of me, I don't know what a case on the
Right.
other side would do.
Yeah, so that's what's
Wow.
important too. Like owning your own business is like learning how to say no.
Yeah.
It's like just being like, I can't. It's just,
So you have like a referral base, like I can't, but so and so can.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I refer some things out a lot. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is I just, for me, and this is like where I am, I really believe that what you believe is just as important to your brand as what you do, and I believe that when people see that you don't have a solid foundation that your brand is built on, and they see
Mhm.
you wavering, I think it hurts you, and it hurts you in the long run. Like a lot of people, like
Mm.
I remember I had one of the politicians that was reaching out about me helping her with her campaign. And I just remember her telling me, she said, I can tell from speaking with you that that you have a real fear of God. Like you are just like, man, this is my platform. This is what I'm about. And I can't waver. And I think just having my daughter as well just helps to reinforce that for me, because I
Mhm.
know that she's watching. Like it's 2 weeks ago, she was in class and they were asking the kids what they wanted to be when they grow up.
Mhm.
And all these kids were like doctors, lawyers, candy lady, and my kid, my kid was like, I want to be like my daddy. And I'm like, like,
Oh
man,
Okay.
man.
Fun, just watching
Dante.
everything,
yeah,
absorbing everything.
yeah.
You're right, Sandy. You're right.
And so, I mean, they took a picture. Her daycare took a picture and sent it to us. And my wife was like, "Oh, you got to look at this. Look at this." And I'm looking, and I mean, I was thrown off because there was one boy on there that said he wanted to be the candy lady. And
There's nothing wrong with the candy lady. We had one
this,
on last night, okay?
yeah,
She was the bomb, okay?
no, there's nothing wrong with it. But I just laughed because there were so many people that turn that one part into like this whole deal with like LGBTQ, but it was like, I'm like, this kid is 2 years old. Like if he gets that whole concept, amen. But I guarantee you, he's looking at the candy lady because she got the candy. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's focusing on the wrong thing. The kid focusing on the right
like,
thing.
I was just like, man, like that's the candy lady. But you know, to see firefighters, police officers,
she was on that list for him. She was at the top. Like that wasn't a bad thing. She was the bomb.
When I was 3, I wanted to be the candy lady too.
Right.
When we used to walk home from school, we passed the candy lady's house. And the candy lady had the Airheads, the Snickers, the Starburst, the fruit cups. You know,
the Fun Dip. Was that what that was called, Joe? The Fun Dip?
Oh, yeah, but the little candy and had like the crack cocaine in it. You
were the red.
But yeah, no, but it was really just funny though, because like I was saying, it was just, I mean, you start to understand it, like these kids. I mean, this is a class full of 2-year-olds, you know, like 2-year-olds, and
but
so
they're picking it up that early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. I think I was eating dirt if they'd asked me what I wanted to do. Give me that dirt clod over there. It looks good.
I'll take a mud pie for later.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I want to be that horse. He's out in the field, naked, just running.
Right. Naked eating Cheetos.
Sorry, that guy that went.
I can do that. So here's a couple of messages real quick. So Carrie says, yes, Dontaye, when people start discounting their services, they're telling people they aren't worth their price. Set your price and don't budge like ever, unless it's on your terms.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Boom. Yep. Reinforcement. Positive reinforcement, y'all.
Stephanie says, hard to put money on reputation.
That's true.
And I saw when she brought that out, we were talking about, the costs and everything. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so one more comment. CPJ says, saying just get me on TV with no work is like telling Sandy you run. So now you should tell me how to rock a marathon next.
Good light.
Right.
And then CPJ, Joe just wants to be out in the field running naked with the blizzard.
I just want to run free, y'all. I just want to run free. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, gosh.
So Dontaye, we're nearing the end of the show, and I always like to ask, so what's next for Fight Harder with Carter in the fire?
Wow. In the fire.
He's going to get a new flame on his back.
That would be kind of sick, actually. That would be kind of sick.
I think what's next for me is, just continuing to, we did a great job here in Georgia of getting a lot of people in office. We flipped a whole lot of seats, and I just think now it's time to hold folks accountable. Like that's kind of the tip that I'm on right now is knock, knock, knock. Here's accountability coming, So I think, after what happened last summer, I think we have to see some real substantial change. And we got to have some people that are willing to kind of continue to push that.
And is that something that your PR firm is going to do, is hold them accountable? Or is it just, that's out of your hands at this point?
Oh, I'm with a few organizations, that are still willing to get into some good trouble. So,
fighting the good fight.
That's right. So it's the personal and business brand, and I think people in Atlanta, they're at a place where they know what I stand for. Typically the folks that don't do business with me, I probably wouldn't want to do business with them anyway. And so it's I'm in a good place, and like I said, I just want to continue to be part of making that difference.
Any chance that you're going to be opening up a remote office in Illinois anywhere? Just curious.
Illinois.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Illinois. That's my
Illinois. Maybe if I picked the Obamas up as clients, I can.
I know their favorite restaurant.
Go ahead and text it to me. I can pull up. I'll be in there with my tea.
But Dontaye, that weather up there,
let's wait till it gets a little warmer. Actually, she's got a point there. It is kind of chill up here, and not a good chill. I'm holding my arms. I hope I don't feel standoffish to you or anyone else watching, but I'm in the basement. And it's.
I was wondering if you had moved. You're not wearing a hoodie or your.
I put my hoodie in the washer, and anyway, I'm not even going to go into the story of everything that happened tonight. But So
Awesome.
that's why I'm doing this, because I'm just a little cold. Okay.
All
We'll
right,
give you a
so-
pass, bro.
Huh?
We'll give you a pass, bro.
We'll
Thank
give
you,
you
thank
passes
you,
for
thank
that.
you,
Yeah.
thank you. Dante, so what we like to do with all of our guests is we like to give them a little bit of screen time for just themselves, kind of an opportunity for them to share whatever it is they want with our audience. It could be your favorite chocolate chip cookie, a personal experience, or shout out to your business and everything else. Just let us know, or I'm going to give you the screen so that you can let us all know. Okay.
Oh,
Share
I
your social
appreciate that.
media.
Yeah. So listen, man, I just want to be able to stay in contact with folks. As you all can see, I'm in what do they call it? Outrovert, not introvert, outrovert. That's probably the wrong term, but that's what I'm rolling with. But look, you all can stay locked in with me. Follow me, Dontaye Carter, on Facebook, PR_Carter03, on Instagram, and Dontaye Carter on Twitter. I'm all about being engaged. If there's somebody you think that I need to connect with, let me know. And I want to be a part of just making an impact, a positive impact in this world. So I'm so grateful to be here today. Grateful to sit down and talk to just such amazing spirits here. And I just look forward to what the future holds.
Noise.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Dante. I really do appreciate that. And I think your statement has made an impact on me. And I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Perfect.
Joe, you look tired. Is it nap time again?
Dude,
It's always nap
It's
time.
always nap time for me, Dante.
Pineapples, we can't.
Pineapple, you're muted.
I said he's like that all the time. I said, but ever since he and Moses stopped hanging out, he's been kind of like on the down slope. So he gets
He's trying
tired
to say I'm
easily.
old. He's trying to say I'm old, but
Right. Moses.
I'm
You remember,
25,
when
so
they
I don't
split
know
the
what
sea kind of thing. Joe was a little salty about that thing.
Joe was
Yeah.
there.
taking a nap. So yeah,
They didn't wake him up.
Here's one more message from Miss Stephanie. You rock, Dante.
Stephanie, you rock as well, and I appreciate her for tuning in. She's a rock
Aw.
star. She is a
She
rock
is.
star.
All right, so we're gonna put you in the green room. Go hang out back there for just a bit, and we'll be back there. So don't hang up or anything, okay, Dante?
Awesome, will do.
All right, brother.
right.
We'll talk to you in just a minute. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you so much.
So CPJ says, great guest, Dante. Thanks for bringing us through a drug deal gone bad to church on this hump day.
So that was pretty awesome. God, it makes me so mad that I couldn't be here, but you two rocked it, hanging out with him. Or, yeah, you two, because Joe was doing something at the beginning by himself, and then
hey,
Sandy was legitimately.
It was his monologue. I called Joe. I was like, Joe, I'm freaking out right now. We just heard some. I was
I was
in
like-
there with Dante. I was talking to Dante when it happened.
Oh my
yeah, I was
God.
like, okay, cool. It's cool. I got it. Me and Pineapples got it. And then I was
Right.
like, oh, Pineapples isn't here. So I guess I'm going to have to take it all myself.
So,
Go back to these comments. These were so amazing.
Oh,
Shauna was like, fashionably late, Sandy, welcome. And so Kaylee, I start telling you what happened. And then this was so funny. Sandy's neighbors are on some bullshit. They sure were.
oh, is that Lols?
That's lows.
And then Pflugerville sounds shady. We need to get details from your 911 friend. And I did text him and I'm like, you need to keep me posted on this.
That's
And
so
he
crazy.
said, dodge and weave. But anyway, and then Mom and Dad's like, Sandy in Pflugerville.
Yes, in Pflugerville.
So anyway, I did see all of those. They were just making me giggle in the back.
Yeah, Dante was awesome, y'all. He was awesome.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate Dante coming on and telling us all about PR. That's pretty cool.
Right, his journey to get to PR, that was really awesome. Like
Yes.
like sleeping through class and stuff like that.
Right.
I was
And
like,
then I didn't realize he wrote Ace of Base song, Saw the Sun. So that was really great.
right. And they speak for themselves, Dante. They speak for themselves.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys. We had taken the computer room down so that we could show the house.
Yes.
Then my wife was like, we're gonna turn into the bedroom. Well, then after I got everything done and out this morning, the people came in and they're like, I think it shouldn't be used as a bedroom. I'm kind of seeing like an office in here, and I was like,
Uh,
so of course
"We're
you get the
Jade."
computer put back all in, and nothing's working. So like even right now, I've got screens that are not matching up right, and I'm trying hard to focus on the camera instead, and errors are popping up everywhere in
I
the
know, and I
background.
can hear an echo, and I was like, is it me?
Yes, it was.
I muted and I can still hear it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. So then, anyway, guys, I did stop by Miss Kim's.
You're
tonight.
eating those
I
grapes.
sure
Shut
am.
your
And let me
face.
tell you,
That's
she
Pick 'em
gave
out. I
me
just wanna
she gave
see
me
'em.
this little one of
A
her.
turtle.
Yep.
A turtle.
Oh my
Look at that.
goodness.
And there's the caramel oozing out on the side. There's the pecans and the chocolate.
We don't care.
And then
We don't
these
care.
were her taffy grapes. They were putting
La,
this.
la, 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 la.
Oh my goodness. Shut your face.
So let me just show you one real quick. 'Cause
That's awful.
green grapes.
That's
Look, she
redonkulous.
vomited your ass because she knew exactly what you were doing.
Look at that. Looks like a little mushroom top, right? And it's literally just that little caramel
There's-
taffy on the
I'm
top.
having, like the salivating mouth right now.
And the grape, right, the way it gets you in the back right there.
Yeah,
and then the
so I
sweet.
got my own turtles, Mr. Pineapple. So don't.
Hey,
I mean,
guys,
again,
I'm out. I know
homemade
it.
though. Homemade though, remember?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Whatever.
Right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for. Oh, he's back.
Right, exactly. Oh, he made it back. Okay.
He made it back in.
So this is the end of our
Thanks,
week,
Steve.
y'all. We'll see you on Moonday. We got
So
And
some
I'll
when we
things
come
lined
back-
up, too.
on Saturday.
So I was going to say, yep, Sandy will be on Saturday. And then don't forget the Strange Connection show will be on Sunday. And when we come back, actually, guys, so our season's about to end here at the end of February.
Oh yeah.
And we'll be gone for a couple of months.
Went on vacation, kids.
Mhm.
One of us might come back. Two of us might come back. Or maybe all three of us. Or maybe not. Who knows? You'll have to come back and see.
Y'all just have the privilege of seeing me on Saturdays.
That's true. We can't say anything about that.
Yeah.
But know that we do have a final crossover episode coming up here soon, and it's going to be Men of Suds on one show one night. We don't know which one. We kind of know which one, but we'll announce it later. And then Women's Night Out from Suds, and that'll be on another episode for them to all show up on.
And we're going to have drinks. I've just decided just now we're going to have.
You can decide that, Sandy. That is
Yeah.
okay. So
We're
more
going
to
to
come on
talk
that.
anime
And movies and video games.
and video games and all the
Things
stuff that.
y'all can't discuss with me.
Right.
Exactly. So Trey will be taking up that spot, and we'll probably be here. It'll probably be a Monday night or a Wednesday night. We'll
Where'd
see.
Sandy go? Where'd Sandy go?
Look, we're already almost there.
Right.
So anyway, guys, we love you. Thanks for hanging out, and please make sure to go give some love to our guests who came out this week, especially Dontaye, Miss Kim, and then that was it. We only had
That was
those
it.
two. Yep.
Dr. Ben.
Dr. Ben.
Oh well, yeah,
Bench was on.
Bench was on
Bench,
Monday.
Dr.
So.
Bench.
If y'all missed, go watch that. We laughed so much on that show. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But anyway, we love you guys. Have a great weekend. Stay warm, please. Please stay warm as best you can. And as usual,
Remember to wash your hands.
for at least 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Good
Good night, everyone. Love y'all.
Toodles.
It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know?